not, I didn't get a very good angle of my, whenever I do the shoulder presses, whenever I'm sitting. I'm going to put a link in this video in the description to a shoulder press uh, sitting video where I'm using the wall. And that way you can see what the shoulder presses, um, how it goes, uh, you know, above my eye level, quite a bit. But anyway, so next time I'll get a better video. Try and keep that in mind whenever I'm shooting. But um, what I wanted to do this time was I wanted to do an exercise outside because it's not crazy hot yet outside. It was probably, I would say it was probably in the around 78 or maybe 80 degrees or something like that. And the really good thing about it is that, like I said, I don't really care for wind at all, too much at all. But wind is so nice. Actually it's good to have whenever I'm lifting weights because it just, it's a cooler. It just really cools me down because whenever I'm sweating and stuff. But my one of my YouTube friends, he sent me some sponges to weight lift with, and they were really helpful this time because whenever I do presses, then usually that's whenever my hands start to go numb. And even though the weight here is very, very small, it's hardly anything. I've never really done a press exercise with this barbell. I've always done pull-ups or chin-ups with this barbell, but I've never done a press with this barbell. It's a straight bar, and so I was really nervous because it feels like it's heavier, but it's not necessarily heavier. What I found out, it's not necessarily heavier. It's more awkward because it doesn't bend, or it doesn't. It's not smaller. It's not easier to grip like the Easy Curl bar that I have. But you see there that I'm using the sponges, and the cool thing about it is with the Easy Curl bar I have to reach far out onto the sides so that I can keep my elbows somewhat at 90 degrees whenever I'm doing press, whenever I'm doing the shoulder press exercises or any other press exercises or pull or rows. Then I don't want to have my elbows bend to more than, or actually to less than 90 degrees. So anyway, that's what I did here. And another good thing that you can see is that I use those sponges to have them as a padding in between the not the Easy Curl, but the barbell and my legs, and that way I wasn't causing skin breakdown. I can't feel whenever I'm getting skin breakdown. I'm doing damage to my legs usually, and so it was really good to have those sponges right there to put in between the barbell and my legs whenever I was in between each set that I was doing. And I don't show a lot of reps or a lot of holds here because I didn't get a very good angle of my upper body, of me raising the barbell too much more than over my head. You can't really see that, but I did get a heck of a workout because the fifth set and in between the fifth set and the sixth set, I did that hold, and then after the sixth set, then I did another hold, and then I did some more reps, and then I did another hold, and then I did some more reps, and hold, and reps and hold, and so on and so forth. But so after that, then I was pretty exhausted. You can see that I have my wheelchair cushion underneath me, and that is really, really important to me also, because then I don't have to worry so much about skin breakdown, and if I'm going to, you know, cause some more damage on my backside than I already have. The cushion, you can see it there. I put it back in my wheelchair, and what I tried to do is I was pretty darn exhausted, so I tried to, transfer from the floor or from the ground back into my wheelchair, but I was having a really hard time. You can see I was pretty exhausted, so I tried it this one time. The first time, you can see I had a really hard time, and I couldn't do it. I failed doing it. But then the second time, what I did was I brought the wheelchair around to the other side of my body, and that way, whenever that gives me a different arm to push up. Or the other time I was trying to push up with my right arm. My right arm was a little bit less strong. It's a little bit weaker than my left arm. So whenever I pulled the wheelchair over to the left side, then I was able to, when I pulled it over to the right side, when I pulled the wheelchair over to the right side, then I was able to push up with my left arm, and my left arm is a little bit more coordinated and stronger, and so I was able to push up quite a bit with that, but it was still pretty darn weak. I was still pretty darn tired from doing all those shoulder presses. So then I figured, well, maybe the third time's the charm. So what I did after that was I thought maybe if I had that tube in my mouth, then it was kind of constricting some of my breathing help, and that was helping me out. My breathing patterns, my breathing calmness was helping me out a little bit, and allowing me to get good breaths in, and so I could give good pushes. And so I didn't have the tubes in my mouth that last time, and so I was able to push up pretty good from the floor, from the ground, and go from the ground back into my wheelchair, transferring that way. And one of the things that helped was if you have a bend in your legs or a bend in your knees, then it gives you a little bit more push, a little bit more help whenever you're transferring back into the wheelchair. Another thing that I was doing is I was using the wheelchair. The wheelchair had stopped, so I had a wall behind it, or I had my weights behind it, or something that was stopping the wheelchair from rolling back, because that also can make it difficult to transfer from the floor back into the wheelchair. As you can see, then I also had the